In this video, we're going to look at two more examples of verifying identities. Now remember, when we are verifying identities, we are trying to show that these two trigonometric expressions are equal to each other. Since we don't yet know that they are equal, we cannot apply the laws of algebra. We can't move things from side to side on the equation. So as we're working these, I want you to kind of put up a wall between the two sides of our identity that we're trying to verify. Here in this first example, I've got 1 minus sine squared is equal to sine theta times cotangent theta over secant theta. So what we want to do is work here on either side, on both sides, until we get them looking the same, until they match. So I'm going to start over here on the left. I see 1 minus sine squared. Remember, whenever we see ones or squareds, we should try our Pythagorean identities. And if we look at the identity sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1, if I subtract the sine squared theta over to the other side, then I'm left with cosine squared theta. 1 minus sine squared theta equals cosine squared theta. So I can change the left side like that. And that's really about all I can do on the left side. Let's go over on the right side. Here I see sine theta times cotangent theta over secant theta. This looks really good for the strategy of changing everything to involve sine theta or cosine theta. So I'm going to start here at sine theta, and of course that's already in terms of sine theta, so we're going to keep that, except that I'm going to put it over 1 so that it looks like a fraction. Cotangent theta is equal to cosine theta over sine theta, and then secant theta is equal to 1 over cosine theta. Alright, now in my numerator, I've got sine theta over 1 times cosine theta over sine theta. Those sine thetas, they're going to divide out, and I'm left with cosine theta over 1 divided by 1 over cosine theta. So at this point, we're dividing with fractions. I want to rewrite that division as multiplication. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator. And when I do that, cosine theta times cosine theta is cosine squared theta. And so now both sides of my identity match. Let's look at one more example. I've got 1 plus sine theta, 1 over 1 plus sine theta plus 1 over 1 minus sine theta equals 2 secant squared theta. So first thing I'm going to do is put up that wall between the two sides of the identity. And I think I'm going to start on the left side again. I see two fractions there that are being added, and I need to combine them together. So if I'm going to do that, I need to get a common denominator. So this first fraction, 1 over 1 plus sine theta, I see that my denominator should be 1 plus sine theta times 1 minus sine theta. I'm just going to multiply those two denominators together to get my common denominator. So this first fraction, I need to multiply times 1 minus sine theta on the top and on the bottom, in the numerator and the denominator. Plus, then in my next fraction, which is 1 over 1 minus sine theta, I need to multiply that times 1 plus sine theta. Same thing in the numerator and the denominator. So my common denominator here is 1 plus sine theta times 1 minus sine theta. And in the numerator for this first fraction, I have 1 minus sine theta plus the numerator of the second part, 1 plus sine theta. Okay, let's see what we can do to simplify this a little bit. I have negative sine theta and positive sine theta, and so I can combine those together, just get 0. And then I've got 1 plus 1, which would be 2, So that's great, because if you look on the other side, I've got 2 secant squared theta. So we've got the 2 now. It's a good sign. In the denominator here, I think I'm going to multiply this out. 1 plus sine theta times 1 minus sine theta. That's going to multiply out to be a difference of squares. Just 1 minus sine squared theta. And then just like we saw in the previous identity, that 1 minus sine squared theta, we can change that to cosine squared theta, 2 over cosine squared theta. And if you remember, 1 over cosine is equal to secant. So I could rewrite this as 2 times 1 over cosine squared theta, just to help us see it a little better. But that 1 over cosine squared theta, I can change to secant squared theta. And now both sides are the same.